I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site. Pinnacle Foods is getting healthier by snapping up a small cap natural foods company.
I'm Patricia Wu at the New York Stock Exchange. Football season is well underway. Find out which small caps are part of the NFL team.
I'm Remy Blair in San Francisco. BioMarin Pharma is extending losses as Sarepta gets an upgrade. And the FDA approved Aqua Advantage Salmon, so what's the controversy over genetically engineered fish?
Welcome to Small Cap Nation. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. Boulder Brands, the Boulder-based company behind UD's gluten-free breads, earth-balanced spreads, and Evil Natural Foods, is now under the multi-billion-dollar umbrella of Pinnacle Foods, a company behind Vlasic Pickles, Duncan Hines Cake Mixes, and Bird's Eye Vegetables. The price tag was $975 million. More food giants are buying natural and healthy brands like Boulder to boost sales. Well, this is a tough retail environment, and Guess is no exception. It reported a sharp drop in third quarter profit as the retailer continues to struggle with lower sales, worsened by the stronger U.S. dollar. For the year that ends in January, the retailer raised the lower end of its profit projection, but said it expects lower revenue, raising the projected impact from currency fluctuations. Guess is the latest retailer to record disappointing sales in the most recent quarter, leading to what is shaping up to be a rocky holiday season. Well, TiVo did report a 12% increase in third quarter revenue on record subscriber additions and more distribution agreements, but it also had higher costs, and that did continue to eat away at its profit. TiVo, which makes a significant amount of revenue from patent settlement agreements that are scheduled to expire starting in 2018, has also added cloud-based media services and expanded abroad. Well, solar power installer Solar City said its chief financial officer, Brad Buss, will retire in February, but remain in an advisory role till later in 2016. Buss will remain CFO through the end of fiscal year 2015, reporting in early February. Solar City also promoted Chief Operations Officer Tengwei Sarah to president of the company. Well, lots of small cap companies making news and earnings in other ways today, despite the holiday tomorrow. So here's a rundown. Aduro says all clinical trials of its pancreatic cancer drug will continue as planned after a setback. Build-A-Bear investor Holder Cannell Capital reported a more than 8% stake in the company. Guess raised the low end of its earnings estimates. Prima Biomed hinted at some partnerships in a conference call. Viva Profit beat and its earnings per share topped estimates as well. And American Capital will undergo a strategic review of its operations. Well, there were three critical takeaways from GameStop's third quarter earnings. GameStop's bread and butter business, sales of video games, gaming systems, and other gaming hardware took big hits in the third quarter, with new video game hardware dropping more than 20% and new software dropping 9%. Like other brick-and-mortar stores, GameStop is fighting online retailers like Amazon, but a more formidable foe to its bottom line is direct download sales. With gaming systems such as the Xbox One, consumers can buy and download games directly without purchasing physical copies. GameStop is investing in digital sales, but it's a small part of its business. Turing Pharmaceuticals, which sparked a fury 2 months ago by sharply increasing the price of a 62-year-old drug, said it would not reduce the list price of that drug after all. Instead, it's going to offer discounts of up to 50% to hospitals, and it would take other measures to help patients afford the medicine. Turing's CEO, a former hedge fund manager, said in interviews that Turing would cut the price of the drug Daraprim, but he had never said exactly how much, although at one point he suggested it might be 10%. In announcing the decision, Turing said it was not as important to cut the list price as to reduce the cost to hospitals, where most patients get their initial treatment. It's almost Thanksgiving, and that means turkey and football, and the NFL is big business. The league is expected to generate $25 billion in annual revenue by 2027. Patricia Witt was at the New York Stock Exchange to tell us which small caps are an indispensable part of the team.
Hi, Jane. It is my favorite time of the year, football season. I'm here with my fellow Giants fan, Alan Valdez. So, Alan, there's some small caps that are an indispensable part of the team.
Oh, without a doubt. And one of them, made here in America, Wilson Football. I mean, Wilson makes the football since 1941. They've been making footballs for the NFL. Their footballs have been used in every Super Bowl since they've started them, you know.
But there's something new with them.
Something real new. Technology's catching up to football. They are putting chips in these footballs now. So now you'll know exactly where to place the football. You'll know exactly if they won out of bounds. You'll know exactly if they did stretch and get a touchdown. So the technology is changing. The footballs are changing. Wilson, great small cap company, made in America, makes about 7,000 footballs a day. They make 700,000 a year. So it's a great business to be in. And, you know, they're the leaders. They're in the NFL. They're the best.
And it's not just the pigskins, it's the helmets too.
The helmets. That's another company made in Lowell, Massachusetts, Zenith Helmets. And the technology there is changing also. They were rated by the University of Virginia the best helmet out there against concussions. I mean, they really save you against getting concussions. They're used by some of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're used by 200 NFL football players. They're still not the biggest. They do about $10 million a year in NFL helmets. Some of the bigger companies, Rawlings and those guys, do about 30 to 40 million a year, but they're catching up and their technology is amazing. And again, made in America, small cap, good company.
And you know, Jane, those chipped footballs that Alan was talking about, they could be an NFL standard by 2021. So it gives Alan and I a few more years to argue about the calls.
We'll take you to San Francisco next when Small Cap Nation comes right back.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So Hat Trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena. Can't stop me now. You don't want me. Can't mess with this.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
The long-awaited FDA advisory panel vote on BioMarin's DMD drug is finally behind us. This mega-cap name has been range-bound for the past 2 sessions. What's the outlook for BioMarin?
Hi, Jane. BioMarin Pharma is extending losses ahead of the Thanksgiving Day holiday. The FDA committee says none of BioMarin's 3 supporting studies made the case for drisapersen. Now, the panel did not consider the drug offering a meaningful benefit to patients with DMD. Safety concerns were also raised as panelists pointed to the risks related to blood platelet deficiency, renal injury, and severe injection site reactions. Now, the FDA did not ask the panel a yes or no question regarding drug approval. The panel weighed in on 4 major issues in BioMarin's application. On each prompt, the vast majority voted that drisapersen's case for approval was weakened or unaffected by the clinical data. The agency plans to make a final decision on drisapersen by December 27th.
Not surprisingly, shares of rival Sarepta Therapeutics got a healthy boost after Tuesday's FDA vote. What are the prospects for Sarepta and PTC Therapeutics to get an approval nod?
Well, Sarepta is extending gains in midweek trade. Shares are up over 5% and are edging closer to 52-week highs hit back in October of this year. Sarepta is awaiting an FDA judgment process for its rival DMD drug, eteplirsen. The Cambridge, Massachusetts-based company will go before the same FDA panel in January and also face scrutiny over its clinical data supporting eteplirsen. Also, Jefferies and SunTrust Robinson raised their price targets on Sarepta to $38 and $34 respectively. And separately, PTC Therapeutics is under pressure today. Prices shed about 8% on Wednesday. Now, the company was downgraded by Jefferies to underperform from hold with a price target of $18, lowered from $26. Now, PTC Therapeutics reported earnings earlier this month with EPS and revenue missing forecasts, but revenue for the quarter was up nearly 480% on a year-over-year basis.
And last but not least, Aduro Biotech reported earnings that beat forecasts, but shares lost over 15% in the previous session. Shares are posting a rebound after yesterday's dip. What details from its quarterly filing spooked investors?
Shares of Aduro have managed to rebound on Wednesday. The company is developing a cancer immunotherapy treatment. If we look at price action this week, you can see the volatility. The company reported earnings that beat expectations. Aduro Biotech earned 1 cent per share on sales of $19.1 million. That is in comparison to an expected loss of 8 cents per share and revenue of $16.9 million. As for the sell-off that happened on Tuesday, that was in reaction to its pancreatic cancer drug CRS-207. A trial patient developed an infection tied to Aduro's re-engineered bacterial treatment. The company's therapy works with a combo of CRS-207 and GVAX, and this involves a form of inert Listeria bacteria that delivers a cancer-fighting drug in a way cancerous cells aren't prepared to defend against, and this may have caused a case of listeriosis. The exact cause isn't clear, and Aduro explained that the infection has since cleared up. The issue qualified as a serious adverse event. As for today's rebound in prices, it comes as the Berkeley-based company says all clinical trials will continue unaltered as planned.
Straight ahead, we head across the pond for a look at what's happening in the European markets when Small Cap Nation comes right back.
Good. Very good. You see something moving off the shelves, and your first thought is to investigate the company. You are Type E. Yes, investment opportunities can be anywhere. Or not. But you know the difference.
E-Trade's barcode scanner. Shorten the distance between intuition and action. E-Trade. Opportunity is...
Before they sat down, one more time, just for themselves. Before the last grandchild graced the stage. Before Katie and her husband hit that rough patch. Before Kevin finally came home and the first grandchild arrived. Before the sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, and Brad's brief brush with the law. Before the second British invasion. Before Katie, Debbie, Kevin, and Brad. Before they became a family. There was a connection that started it all and made the future the wonderful thing it turned out to be. We know we're not the center of your life, but we'll do our best to help you connect to what is.
Sometimes the present looked bright, sometimes romantic. There were tears in my eyes, and tears in my eyes. And so many little things that we learned were really the biggest things. Through it all, we saved and had a retirement plan, and someone who listened and helped us along the way. Because we always knew that someday the future would be the present.
Every someday needs a plan. Talk with us about your retirement today.
Graham, how have the European markets been behaving today?
Well, the concerns over the incident with the Russian jet and Turkey continue to overweigh the markets. Yesterday, all of them except London closed down in the red. London was lifted in late afternoon, mainly by the miners and oil, and particularly by GBG, which is such a large chunk of the market. This morning, the markets all opened mixed. Germany and France in the red, but they went back into the green. And at the moment, all the markets are in the green, except for Spain, where there appears to be a sell-off going on the banks. On the data and political front, ECB had their stability meeting today, and the report made a particular issue over downside risk again, and particularly the impact of a Fed rate rise on corporates in the emerging markets. So that's a sort of slightly new twist. France consumer confidence was unchanged in November from previous month and above market expectations. Despite less interest in making major purchases, households' opinion on their financial situation remained virtually stable. My own unscientific poll of friends, neighbours and local business people suggested their attitudes are unchanged but far from confident, with fixed salaries and returns and rising charges and prices. Portugal is still struggling really to form a workable government, and that's weighing on the country. And we have UK Chancellor George Osborne revealing the government's budget plans and economy for the autumn statement, which really is more austerity and budget spending cuts, except in the area for the military, which is interesting. Data for the rest of the week, while the US is on holiday. Important one on Thursday, M3 money supply for Europe. Important to see if quantitative easing is trickling down into the real economy or is stuck in the banks, and that will be interesting to see. And then on Friday we have business climate indicator and economic sentiment for the EU, and a whole range of UK data including consumer confidence and GDP. There's no IPOs scheduled this week now. There was one planned today actually for a French bakery, Poulain, but this has been delayed now until next week to try and raise enough funds. We'll see how they do. They're due to close next Wednesday now.
Well, Graham, what do you have for us today?
Well, today I'm spotlighting a London AIM-quoted company, Mothercare, a company that's come back from serious trouble to some success by responding to a changing demographic.
What are the demographic changes that influence them?
The changes in the demographic of new mothers, as Mothercare, as you probably guess from its name, sells baby stuff and young children. A recent report from the UK Office for National Statistics revealed that more women aged 35 and above gave birth, overtaking the number of mothers under 25 who gave birth. So obviously the main range is between 25 and 35, but this significantly has changed the profile of Mothercare customers.
And how did they respond to this change in customer profile?
Because the older mothers tend to have more disposable income, the retailer's bosses said it means that customers are more willing to pay full price. The CEO, Mark Newton-Jones, said, "We are definitely seeing the benefits. These mothers have more disposable income, are a bit more discerning and want to buy the very best." As a result, premium products on offer are up from 10% to 18%, and discounting has been significantly reduced from only 90%, 59% of products being sold at full price. Now it's 70%. The group has implemented this approach over the last 12 months in a bid to revive its UK business, which has suffered heavy losses in the last 5 years due to competition from the likes of Primark and even Amazon. Online sales have been particularly impressive, particularly through mobiles and tablets. Newton-Jones suggests that this was due to nursing mothers not comfortable at computers but can use the phone and the tablet while they're nursing. He added that also the staff in stores have been given iPads to help customers place orders and do research, and online sales in stores, which is interesting, now account for 45% of the online business. We've also introduced a live chat on the website. He said the average talk time is 9 minutes, which leads to a series of questions, and the transactions are up about 50% compared to those who don't use live chat. The strategy seems to be paying off, with sales at UK stores open for longer than 12 months rising 3.8% year on year, and total UK sales rising by 0.4% only to 236 million pounds. In the 6 months to 10 October, the company reported an underlying profit before tax of 7 million, 112% higher than the corresponding business period last year. And the UK business losses, which are continuing but have been halved to 6.1 million. Group Chief Executive Mark Newton-Jones said that the company no longer is trying to compete with supermarkets at the lower end of the market, and in fact was targeting aspirational customer base. So an interesting approach in the face of the heavy discounters. And that's it for today from Small Cap Europe. Graham Brown, and I wish all those who are taking a Thanksgiving holiday safe travel and an enjoyable day.
We'll take you to San Francisco next when Small Cap Nation comes right back.
Everyone works hard for a reason. Working together, we can help you prepare financially for when 2 becomes 3. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
You want to be the best investor you can be. You want to cut through the noise of an overwhelming amount of analysis. You want the insights that will help you decide which ideas to execute and which to leave behind. You want your trades executed in 1 second or less, guaranteed and routed with institutional quality technology. Look no further. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
When I got the phone call that we had received the grant, I held my breath.
To have a program like this is a big reward.
Being a Chase Mission Main Street grant recipient is a game changer.
One of the biggest surprises in starting a small business is the number of hours we should work for the first 20 years.
One of the great things about this grant is that it is going to let us invest in some additional inventories.
It's going to allow this business to go to the next level.
Being a recipient of this grant, we can't be thankful enough.
It's a dream come true, and I'm still in awe.
All across the country, Americans will be sitting down to feast on turkey stuffing and plenty of fixings, but the FDA approval of GMO farmed salmon for human consumption is getting mixed reaction. Is this a game changer for the dinner table?
There's no better time than Thanksgiving to talk about food. It's no secret that consumers are concerned about where their food comes from. Last week, the FDA approved Intrexon's Aqua Advantage salmon. The agency says it's safe to eat the salmon, and no special labeling will be required when the fish hits store shelves. Now, the fish will be farmed in tanks on land in Panama and Canada. Meanwhile, Intrexon is a mid-cap biotech name that is based in Virginia, and it's also the parent company of Aqua Bounty, based in Maynard, Massachusetts. It has operations up in Canada. Now, Aqua Bounty hasn't yet announced when its salmon will be available, but the FDA says that Aqua Advantage is just as safe and nutritious as other salmon, and that they lack any biologically relevant differences with other farm-raised Atlantic salmon. But some worry that scientists have yet to understand the potential health risks of GMOs. The FDA's guidance documents detail the agency's findings, and for the public, while the comment period is open until January 25th of next year. You can comment on voluntary GE labeling indicating whether food has or has not been derived from the modified Atlantic salmon.
What is the technology and science behind the GMO salmon? How does it go from fish farm to table?
Aqua Advantage salmon contains a gene from its cousin, the Chinook salmon. It gets assistance from the ocean poutfish. Now, the GMO salmon gets its growth gene all year round instead of only in the warmer months. The added genetic material helps the Aqua Advantage salmon grow twice as fast as ordinary farm salmon, even though they consume 10% less food. The company produces millions of genetically modified salmon eggs at a hatchery on Prince Edward Island in Canada. Basically, the sex of the female fish is reversed so that they produce sperm. The new male fish are then matched with non-genetically engineered females to produce all-female sterile eggs. When the eggs are ready, the company will transfer them to a land-based hatchery down in Panama.
Major food retailers are rejecting GMO salmon for consumers concerned about the impact of genetically modified salmon. This is good news. How concerned should we be about consumption of GMO salmon?
Consumer and environmental advocates are concerned about the long-term effects of GMOs, and retailers and restaurants are taking note. Legal Seafoods, Red Lobster, Target, Costco, Kroger, as well as Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Walmart, Aldi, and Publix are all saying no to GMO salmon. Now, Aqua Bounty hasn't sought approval to raise its salmon in the U.S. The company would need to go through a new application process before it could go ahead and do that. GMO safety is a controversial topic even in scientific circles, and consumers are concerned about the long-term effects despite the safety claims. Retailers are taking a stand and are noting that even though there are no standards for assessment.
Listen up, investors. What to buy, sell, or hold, our daily segment on what the experts are recommending when Small Cap Nation returns.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So Hat-Trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up their number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're gonna stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Buy-sell hold action was light today due to the Thanksgiving holiday, but we did have a big call on a biotech company. Immunogen is assumed at a buy rating at Jefferies, and they set the price target at $16. Tech Data was raised to market perform at Raymond James. Valspar cut to neutral at JP Morgan. Now, we did have a lot of economic data out today due to the holiday tomorrow, And it was mostly good. Weekly jobless claims fell to a 1-month low. Durable goods orders were stronger than expected, but consumer confidence did fall short of expectations. Thanks for joining us for Small Cap Nation, and we'll see you back here Monday. Until then, check back for the latest news and research on smallcapnation.com, Facebook, and Twitter.